A spectacular spectacle drawing dozens of onlookers in Campbell River.
We finally got reports that the orcas were coming up the Discovery Passage.
A pod of transient killer whales spotted, but this encounter quickly turned concerning.
He's right on top of them now.
I can't believe it.
I was quite shocked that someone would engage in these behaviors in such a publicly viewable setting.
Locals watched as a man and two others got in their boat and allegedly started chasing the whales.
It's a small recreational white vessel that is doing something called frog hopping. They will motor in front of the pod of orcas, and then they will shut their engines off so they can get like a much closer encounter with the orcas. This behavior actually, it was repeating. And so at a certain point, the orcas, they dove down and they surfaced a kilometer up the shoreline. Essentially an instance of gratuitous harassment of wildlife.
Glacier Media interviewed 3 witnesses, all saying the man was leapfrogging in front of the whales for more than 45 minutes and over a distance of more than 5 kilometers.
I would say that this vessel was within 50 meters of orcas at several points during the encounter.
Onlookers quickly contacted Fisheries and Oceans Canada to report what they saw, some even trying to stop the boat.
He is right on top.
A lot of people were very upset, but it's also very encouraging to see so many people so passionate about, the enforcement of rules around orcas.
And every time he hops on them, they dive deep.
TFO confirms to Glacier Media that they are aware and are investigating the incident.
Bigs or transient killer whales are a threatened species under the Species at Risk Act. In all of Canadian waters, people are required to stay at least 200 meters away from all killer whales.
Fines for getting too close to killer whales can be hefty. Just last month, Canada's largest ever fine for getting too close to killer whales was laid against a BC man. This incident happened near Prince Rupert Harbour. TFO says the vessel attempted to motor ahead of the pod several times, known as leapfrogging.
The whales are important to us, and it is not acceptable that this kind of behavior happens.
Jackie Hildering, a marine mammal educator, is pleased to see the outrage from the public.
The outrage here is everything from the proximity, the duration of how long it happened, and I think just how overt it was in front of a relatively densely populated area.
And she says it's not just the proximity that's the issue, but also the noise.
We may not hear the full effects of our engine over the surface, but we're putting that underwater and we're layering that on top of all the other sound and all the other stresses for the whales. And that sound is magnified up to 5 times underwater.
DFO won't comment specifically on this case as it's under investigation, but thanks the many members of the public who did report it.
Video, Anthony?
Oh, yeah.
Alana Kelly, Glacier Media.